Hello, I'm Olena Gryniuk and we are recording our next episode of SME Banking Conversations in Warsaw. With the headquarters of the most innovative and developed banking sector in the CEE region, Warsaw is becoming one of the most important financial and IT centers in the region. I'm heading to the office of ITDS Poland, one of the leading IT companies working in the financial sector in Poland and included in the Financial Times 1000, a ranking of the fastest growing companies in Europe. I'm talking to Charles Gamba, founder and CEO at ITDS Poland. Hello, Charles.
Hello, Olena.
I'm very excited that we are recording this interview here in your office in Warsaw. And congratulations for your ranking results and your position of being one of the leaders in the Polish IT service market for financial and e-commerce sector. Great results.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you achieved this during the 6 years, so you're present here in the Polish market since 2016, right?
That's correct, yes.
So what are your successes and lessons learned during this time?
So it's already 6 years, so time flies.
Yeah.
So ITDS, we are a fast-growing company, a fast-growing business specialized in the IT and financial industry. We also cover other industries, but that's our core USP. Essentially, we have, in terms of success, many of them that we are very proud of. We now employ more than 400 people in Poland and in Portugal, so we keep up hiring and we are very ambitious. We gain the trust of more than 30 clients across the industry. We work with very large corps, trying to help them to design their proprietary systems or integrate software packages for them. On the top of that, we have created an excellent companies with great atmosphere, great people, excellent values. We have a very strong management team that is really pushing the company forward. And we have also really amazing people across the board at every level in the organization. And we have all one objective is to become one of the leaders in Europe in the IT industry. So we keep pushing. We've been actually recognized by the Financial Times twice as one of the fastest growing company in Europe, so in 2021 and 2022.
Cool. Yep.
We also got a certification Great Place to Work here in Poland.
Yes, this is an important. Say about this more.
Yes, I mean, we are recognized as a great employer because we offer great benefits, flexibility. People in the company are very happy to work with us. So we got this certification that we are obviously very proud of to be one of the top employers in Europe and on the Polish market, obviously.
Yes, not many companies have this, so great.
Thanks. And on the top of that, we are now part as well since 2019. That's one of our successes. We joined a very large group, House of HR, which is very influential in Europe. It's employing more than 40,000 people in different sectors. So it's a federation of companies with a very strong entrepreneurship spirit, which was lately bought by Bain Capital, which has very big ambitions for the group. So we all want to keep on growing together. Also, one of the success that we have in Poland, I can add, is that we are very much specialized in the financial industry, and especially in the banking industry. We cover different sectors like retail, SME banking, corporate investment banking, asset management, wealth management. We are working for factoring, leasing companies. So we have a pool of specialists, IT engineers that knows very well the banking industry, and that's one of our strengths on the Polish market, but also on different markets like Portugal or even in Holland.
You mentioned that your IT engineers have the experience in the financial industry. How important is that, in your opinion?
It depends the projects, the ambitions. It's always a strong plus for a banking client, for instance, to hire IT engineers that know the business, that know the processes, because today we work in Agile Scrum. The product development is done in a different way, and the business is much more closer to the IT, and vice versa. So definitely when you hire engineers, which can be software engineers or analysts or project manager, when they know the business, it's much easier. And on the top of that, if they know the benchmark from the industry, the best practices, they can really help you to design the best solution and to design the business. I mean, to challenge the business, excuse me.
Yeah.
So after, on the top of that, if you look in terms of IT, software engineers don't necessarily need to know the banking industry. They can learn it on the go. For analysts, it's more challenging. They really need to understand the processes.
Charles, let's talk about you. What is your path to ITDS?
So my path to ITDS in Poland, how did I arrive here? There was up and downs, like in entrepreneur life.
Okay.
But essentially, I got to know Poland long time ago, so it was in 2012, where I had the chance to study in Politechnika Warszawska. It was an amazing experience. I still have very, very good memories from that time.
Okay.
And I really fell in love with the country to start with, you know, with the culture, the people. I felt really,
I can understand it quite well.
You too as well, so we are all together here. And on the top of that, Poland is a great country, but it's also a great market. Definitely in that time, I already started to get a grasp or see the potential of Poland being the IT hub in Europe, which is something that actually became true. You have a very good education system. People are really talented. There is a very good command of English across the board. In Poland, people speak very well English. They know how to work in international environment. So I decided to look at the market and to set up a company together with a couple of co-founders. And we went basically from scratch. We created a company, and today we are more than 400 people. So we're very proud.
Great. IT outsourcing. Do you think banks and financial sector in general started to prefer this form of the implementation IT solutions compared to the buying of ready-made solutions from the providers?
It's not black or white. There are 50 shades of gray in between. So what you can see in the market is that definitely the digital transformation and the adoption of agile Scrum methodology in project has really changed the perception of banks, the way they design their system and they manage their IT. So there is a difference between small caps, mid caps and large caps companies in terms of the size and their maturity to IT. What you will find out is that in small caps clients, they have usually smaller IT department, less IT maturity, and those clients will have more tendencies to look for solutions from the market because they don't have the capability to develop by themselves. And here, usually they either select a software provider that design a bespoke solution or a software house, or they will select a software house that has a ready product and they integrate it with an integrator. That's something we actually do with ITDS as an integrator for companies. After you have mid-size and large, or mid-size company or large-size companies, so those large caps, they became much more mature in terms of IT development, and most of the banks has decided to create their own IT department and to become their own software house. With a notion, with a very strong focus on product development, software engineering, using the latest technologies to make a difference on the market. Because today you make really a difference on the market through digital solutions, with having a fast time to market, having the flexibility, etc. and etc. And today there is really a strong push from large caps, also large companies, to have a very strong engineering culture across the department, and that's why IT engineer outsourcing became very famous, and that's why we're also growing, because companies are looking for great engineers or good engineers as well to manage their projects, to develop their product, and to have their own intellectual property.
Yes, and searching for the IT engineers fast, I would say.
Yes, that's one of the key points.
You really need it for yesterday, right?
That's actually, you know, if you work across an IT department in a bank, and I'm sure you do it a lot with the SME Banking Club, usually I always ask, the first question is, what is your biggest challenge? And 99% of the time, people tell me always talent scarcity. We need good people. We cannot find good people. So that is one of the biggest challenge, except the market challenge that we are all aware of with inflation, war, and etc.
Yeah. What are the main advantages of IT outsourcing and what are the risks?
So the main advantages, there are a lot of them. The first one is that we are right now on a market where talent scarcity is very strong. It's very hard to find good people, and the core business of banks is not to recruit IT engineers, is to provide financial solutions to their clients. So there are strong advantages, such as, first of all, working with companies that have existing talent pools, or the companies know how to source candidates from the market, how to assess them, and how to onboard them, how to manage them. That's what actually we do. The second advantage as well is because what you can see is that in Scrum teams, usually clients have their own staff, their own employees, and they have contractors. And you can obviously play between your OPEX and your CAPEX cost, which is a sensitive topic in organization, to manage the cost of your IT project or your product development in companies. There are also advantages is that you can manage your attrition in a much easier way because as we know, people get into companies, they're not getting married with you. So they usually come for an experience, they learn.
And they're free to go.
And then they are free to go. And usually that's what's happening on the market, especially right now with the new generation. So it's very important to have always a partner that is able to backfill your position because your product and the business doesn't wait for the backlog to be done. So you need to have the people on board to do the projects. So there are definitely a lot of advantages to work with companies like us because you really get talents. You don't need to have headaches to source them, to find them, and you can play with your costs. So that's one of them.
What is the risk here?
The risk, there are necessarily no much risks, except if you go for full-blown outsourcing and then you don't know what's going on in your code base. I cannot identify that many risks in terms of cooperation in that model when it comes to IT engineering outsourcing, and that's why it's actually very popular across the board for banks right now.
How to choose right partner, right software engineer partner?
So if I was a bank and I wanted to select an IT engineering outsourcing partner, I will go through a couple of assessments. The first one, I will find out if those companies understand my business, if they have good relationship managers that get along with my managers, because it's a business managed by people, so
if there is a match,
it needs to have a good relationship because you go through problems like in all the organization, and especially when you have a human being components in it, it's never, it's not 1 + 1 = 2 all the time, so it doesn't work this way. So you need to also make sure that companies have a good SLA, so they are able to answer fast your request, they are able to challenge you, to provide you with the right talents, and to make sure that those talents are being cared of. So you need to also make sure that the suppliers are actually good companies that really take care of the people, or so-called great place to work, on the top of that, what we can add is that there are a couple of companies that have this procurement strategy to try to find the cheapest resources. And then usually what we can find out is that it's not a good practice on the market. So I wouldn't choose the cheapest providers for a couple of reasons. The first one is that usually the attrition is much higher with cheapest providers because they're not able to pay their people in a proper way. And also you can have on the long run other problems such as solvency, and if those companies don't have the necessary resources to have people on board, they cannot deliver you the quality of the services that you expect when it comes to IT engineering outsourcing. So that would be one of the advice as well.
How big is ITDS in Poland right now?
So ITDS in Poland is very fast growing. I mean, it's fastly growing. Numbers are changing every month. It's up. Right now we are almost 400 people together with our back office team and our engineers, and we keep up recruiting. So every month this number is getting higher and higher. We just also opened a branch in Portugal.
Yes, I know about that. We will talk about this later. Let's talk about IT market here in Poland and in the whole CEE region. So you mentioned that you're hiring IT engineers non-stop, and I know that you plan to hire 300 more till the end of the year. So how do you manage to do this? We all know that there is a very difficult situation in the IT market, in the sense that, of course, there is a big shortage of IT engineers. Everywhere they are difficult to find, they are difficult to retain. How do you do this? What are your challenges and how do you address them?
So that's a very good question. The first thing is that if you look at the market, a couple of years ago it was already hard to recruit IT engineers, and it became much harder after the pandemic. What happened is that if you look at the global picture, we can see already that there's a globalization of the workforce. What does it mean is that there are a lot of overseas companies from the US, the UK, whatsoever, that comes to Europe, or especially in Poland, to tap talent. Because they are great engineers that have international experience, they speak English, they have great coding skills, or they know the business, and they're obviously cheaper that basically on a high cost location like the US and etc. So that's one of the things, is that we are all on a market trying to source for the local market plus international companies, shared service centers, and etc. How do we solve this problem? Is that we have very, very good recruiters across the board that are very trained. They know how to find talents, or to talk to them, or to propose opportunities. But not only. Once we have the people, we identify them, we have to invite them for an interview, and we have to explain to them what are the opportunities for them. And here, what is the advantage of ITDS is that because we work with many clients, we have a lot of opportunities and a lot of project opportunities for people. We also work with good technologies, usually advanced technologies, interesting projects, Scrum, international companies. We offer very good conditions. We pay well people. But we don't only pay well because money is one thing, but on top of that, we offer them a great place to work with great culture for software engineering. They have also the possibility to develop themselves. We offer training programs, we offer peer groups programs where they can meet people. Friendship is also something we really care about as one of the value, is that we believe that when people come in the companies, they have to make friends. You know, if you look at your personal life, most of your best friends or your close friends are people that either you met at the uni, during your studies, or either at work.
Yeah, exactly.
And for us, it's very important to also unite the people together, let them meet, create friendships. So that's why we have clubs, ski clubs. We are creating other clubs. We have the peer groups. We have parties. Lately, we were on a festival in Eindhoven with our group. So that was really fantastic. So great party. So there are a lot of benefits that we offer to the people. So great conditions, great projects, awesome projects with clients and name of clients which they can have on their CV. So they really build a strong CV for their future career. And on the top of that, we offer additional benefits. And that's why people are actually coming to work with us, and we are able to keep on hiring. So I really believe we are a great company.
You mentioned that you opened the office in Portugal last year, right? And you also have your sister company in the Netherlands. So which markets will you focus? I mean, now I know that you focus mainly here on the Polish market, but do you have in mind or in your plans to target other markets?
We have obviously a lot of ambitions, and we are looking at different opportunities all the time because we have this entrepreneurship mindset. What you can find out is that as ITDS, we are a boutique of Redmore and House of HR. They have several locations all around Europe. As a boutique, as ITDS, we are looking at other countries. Obviously, there is France, Germany, the Nordics, Switzerland, which can be a very interesting market for us, where there is strong banking industry, and where we can potentially add value as well with our talents. What is your source of inspiration
to innovate and to do a better job?
So what I find fascinating is that we are not looking that much at companies outside. Obviously, we are always aware of company ABC or competitors doing, but the way we are going forward with ITDS is that we find our inspiration from inside the companies. Okay. Again, you have people that have great ideas. Sometimes they are hard to execute, sometimes they are easy to execute, but we really listen to the people, we care, we respect the ideas, we are not judgmental, and we let people to come to pitch whatever ideas they have. And our best source of inspiration is actually our own people that always wants to improve the processes, take shortcuts, and from that perspective we always are going forward and implementing new ideas or new systems or digitizing the companies. So that's our main source of inspiration. That's our people.
Thank you very much, Charles, for this conversation.
Thank you for coming as well. It was a pleasure to discuss with you today. So
thank you.
See you soon.